California setting up a standoff with Texas. Governor Gavin Newsom calling for a special election to vote on new maps to counter redistricting in the Lone Star State. Now, that move is heightening political tensions nationwide as President Trump rallies red states to secure more Republican seats in Congress before next year's midterms. Newsom says Trump is, quote, trying to rig the system. California is defending fair representation.
I know they say don't mess with Texas. Well, don't mess with the great Golden State. It's not complicated. We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats. We're doing it in reaction to that act.
CBS News political reporter Hunter Woodall joins us from Washington with the latest on this. Good morning again, Hunter. So the governor wants to make this a national issue. Tell us more of what he said and explain how feasible his plan is.
Well, good morning, Errol. And that's the word you used there is exactly right. How feasible this plan is for what Governor Gavin Newsom in Florida is, of California is trying to do. In Texas, Republicans just need to pass their plan to redistrict through the state legislature. In California, it's going to take quite a bit more work. This is going to have to both go through the California legislature with it winning 2/3 majority, and it's also going to have to actually be decided by voters in what's expected to be an election this November. That's a major hurdle for California to redraw its congressional maps. This is by no means easy, and it is by no means a guarantee for Democrats that the governor will be able to offset what's happening in Texas by what's happening in California. I'll also note, too, this is getting some pushback from Republicans. You know, there's some unease in both parties about what's going on. And I know our own Major Garrett spoke to GOP Representative Kevin Kiley yesterday about this dynamic. Let's listen in.
We see this sort of escalating redistricting war continue to cascade across the country. I think it's going to be total chaos. District lines are going to be shifting. It's going to create great instability. This is not a path that we want to go down. This is not the way that representative government is supposed to work.
Now, it's important to remember GOP Congressman Kiley is likely a California Republican who would be impacted having his district potentially redrawn by new maps in California, which just speaks to there's a lot of self-preservation at play here as well as Republicans and Democrats see how this impacts them.
Something all politicians do, worry about their own preservation. And what about those Texas Democrats? When might they head back to the state, and what happens if they don't return today?
And that's that key question, that dynamic we continue to watch. And it seems like Texas Democrats have signaled they're willing to come back to the state relatively soon. They've set some conditions, and one of them is obviously these new maps being introduced in California to offset what they're opposing in Texas. That dynamic continues to play out, but it looks like Republicans are also adamant about calling another special session in Texas. They want to get these maps through at some point, and Texas Democrats are starting to feel that they've been able to achieve their goal of calling national attention to what Republicans are doing.
All right, Hunter, we know you'll keep tracking this closely. Thanks very much.